When 19-year-old Keisha Williams was turned away from the ER for the third time, they said she was drug-seeking and exaggerating. But what they didn't know was that her mother was the state's top medical inspector. In less than 24 hours, their racist assumptions would cost them everything. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead in the emergency room at Mercy General Hospital, casting harsh shadows across the worn linoleum floors. The smell of disinfectant mixed with something else, something that felt like indifference, like years of dismissive glances and whispered assumptions. At 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday night, 19-year-old Keisha Williams clutched her side, her dark skin glistening with sweat as waves of pain shot through her abdomen like lightning. She'd been here twice already in the past 6 hours. Twice she'd been told to wait it out and stop being dramatic. Twice, she'd watched white patients with less severe symptoms get rushed through those double doors, while she sat doubled over in the waiting room chairs that seemed designed to maximize discomfort. "Please," Keisha whispered to the triage nurse, her voice barely audible over the sound of her own labored breathing. "Something's really wrong. The pain is getting worse." Nurse Patricia Jenkins, a woman whose badge gleamed with 15 years of service, barely looked up from her computer screen. Her fingers clicked impatiently on the keyboard as she typed notes that would later become evidence in a federal investigation. "Honey, we've been through this," Patricia said, her voice dripping with the kind of condescension that had become as common as the hospital's morning coffee. "Young girls like you come in here all the time looking for pain medication. Why don't you go home, take some Tylenol, and call your regular doctor in the morning?" But Keisha wasn't just any teenager. What Patricia Jenkins didn't know, what none of them knew as they exchanged knowing glances and eye rolls, was that Keisha Williams was the daughter of Dr. Monica Williams, the state's chief medical quality inspector, the same woman who had the power to shut down entire medical facilities with a single report. Dr. Williams had spent the last 20 years working her way up from a young black medical student who faced her own share of discrimination to becoming one of the most feared and respected voices in healthcare oversight. She'd built her reputation on holding hospitals accountable for the exact kind of treatment her daughter was receiving at that very moment. Keisha had never mentioned her mother's position. She'd learned long ago that she wanted to be treated based on her symptoms, not her family connections. But as she sat in that waiting room for the third time, watching the clock tick past 3 a.m. while her appendix prepared to rupture, she began to realize that sometimes silence isn't noble. It's dangerous. "I need to see a doctor," Keisha said again, this time with more force. "I think my appendix might be—" "Listen, sweetheart," interrupted Dr. Richard Hayes.